All right, we're back in the tutorial office and we're talking about digestion, okay? So we eat something, right? No big deal, but I just want to point out here in the mouth and here in the esophagus, we have the stratified squamous, all right? Stratified means layered, and then squamous is a type of epithelial, kind of like flat little china plates, all right? And that's important because if we eat something spicy or something sharp, like pointy, like the Doritos, it's going to scrape some tissue off as it goes down. And so that's just something to think about, all right? And then right here is a sphincter. Good test question. It's the cardiac sphincter because our heart is approximately right here. It's also known as the lower esophageal sphincter, the LES. That's what you're going to see like in nursing school. And then you've got like all these kind of wrinkles and everything. That's the rugae, all right? And then you have another little sphincter, all right? And that is going to be the pyloric sphincter. And then we have our first part of the small intestines, all right? And let me move some of our model out of the way, our transverse colon. And this right here is the duodenum, duodenum. I've heard it pronounced a lot of ways, just know how to spell it, okay? And then we have the pancreas right here. Remember that the pancreas is not only part of the endocrine system because of the insulin and glucagon, but also part of the digestive system, and hopefully this makes sense now because it has those 3 digestive enzymes. You've got the lipase, that's going to be for like your fats, all right? And then you have your pancreatic amylase, all right? And that's going to be for like your simple sugars and stuff. Notice that I called it pancreatic amylase because actually up here at the mouth, you've got your salivary amylase. Like say you're chewing a piece of really cool sugary gum, right? And then it goes gross. That's because that salivary amylase did its job. Also think about when like you're eating popcorn and it melts in your mouth. Well, there was some enzymes working on that digestion right there in your mouth. That's a salivary amylase, different from your pancreatic amylase. And then the last thing that it helps with is digesting proteins, and that's going to be your trypsin and chymotrypsin. All right, so those 3 digestive enzymes, very powerful, are going to be kicked out here into the first part of the small intestines, the duodenum. All right, remember that we refer to the small intestines as D, J, and then ICE. All right, where we connect, actually you can see it like right here at the end with our large intestine. So we have the duodenum, the jejunum, and then the ileum, DJ, ICE, DJ. Just standing for things, okay? Here's our connection between our small intestines and our large intestines, all right? And that's gonna be the Ileocecal valve, all right? The first part of the large intestines is gonna be the cecum. You have the ascending, and then you've got the transverse, and then you've got the descending, and then you right down here at the bottom you have the sigmoid. Now, I kind of want to point out this model right here because this is one of their favorites. You can see that it is the colon, it is the large intestines. Right here is the cecum, ascending, transverse, descending. This thing that looks like the letter S, that's the sigmoid, right? So sometimes what they do is they're going to put it down and it's going to be backwards. And maybe they pin it right here. And you're nervous and you're going too fast and you call that the descending colon. Okay, it's wrong. You just got 2 points off. What I want you to do is think about this right here. What's this little pill thing? Yeah, you said it right. It's the appendix. All right? So think A for appendix, A for ascending. So even if they flip it backwards, you're not going to be confused because you're looking at your landmark on the appendix. All right? So maybe they have you identify the appendix, which is part of the lymphatic system, or maybe they have you identify the sigmoid or the ascending with it turned backwards, or maybe they're just super nice that day and they pin it right here and you're going to say transverse colon. All right. Another thing on this model, and there's a lot of things they can do with this model, but if we look underneath the liver, first of all, we see the gallbladder. The gallbladder is actually just a purse. Like when you hear the word bladder, it's a storage. It means storage, like a purse. So your liver is going to do all the hard work of making the bile, and then it's going to be stored in the gallbladder. Okay. The bile is that really cool stuff that's going to help us process and break down fats, anything that has that non-polar fatty tendency to it. Here you're looking at like the letter Y. So maybe they mark it right here, the line closest to the gallbladder. That's going to be the cystic duct. Or maybe they mark it right here, the line closest to the liver. Now, fancy word for liver is like hepatic or something of that line. So that's going to be the hepatic duct. Or maybe they mark it right here where the two lines come together, and that's going to be the common bile duct. All right? So this has a lot of potential as far as this model. Another model that's really important to become familiar with, more than what I'm going to point out, because remember we're just extra, is the small intestines. Okay? I want you to keep in mind that the small intestines has simple columnar epithelial. All right? Think of it as these simple columns, right? They're like straws, and they're going to suck up the nutrients, and they're going to send it to the liver. All right? Because remember that we have the hepatic portal vein, where we are very nutrient rich, and send it to the liver to have x-rays done, basically see if it's safe to go to the rest of the system. So we have the mucosa, the submucosa, the muscularis, and then the serosus, right? Most likely there might be questions on these little green lines, the lacteals. All right, know the function that it is going to help us break down fats. It's going to take in the fats, not break down, but take in the fats, absorb it. Maybe this little green circle right here, that's the Pryor's patch. Also be familiar with, like under the microscope, what the Pryor's patch looks like underneath there. Maybe they're going to ask about this little guy right here, this little line right here, and I'm going to mispronounce this, I'm going to already tell you that. It's like the cryptoleprechaun.
Leverkuhn.
Leverkuhn. Do you remember what it does?
It secretes brush border enzymes.
Oh, that's what I was thinking, but I wasn't sure, so thanks, Andy. All right, maybe they ask about one of these red circles or these blue circles. Okay, so like venule and arteriole. Did I say that right?
Arterial.
Thank you, arterial. Something of that nature. So make sure you're feeling comfortable with this. Also, green is going to be lymphatic down here, part of that lymphatic system. Going to the cat. Now, just kind of putting this out there. They tend to not really put the cat out there on lab practicals as far as digestion, but I want to point things out just in case they do. So deep to the trachea, you're going to find that garden hose. That's the esophagus. Okay? And then coming down here, you have the liver. Open up, you find the gallbladder. All right? Right here is the stomach. Right here, here's the stomach, and then here's our first coming out. That is the duodenum or duodenum. All right, and then if I fan this out, you can see we have a mesentery, right? Anything yellow is representing the hepatic portal vein, by the way. Remember that we're soaking up nutrients, and you can see some yellow, like right there. And probably if you come back more, if I probably need the vessel kit, but just remember, yellow is hepatic portal vein, where we're sending those nutrients up to the liver so that they can get double checked. If I pull back my greater omentum and deep to the stomach, I'm going to find the pancreas. All right. Remember that the pancreas, that's where we're going to find those digestive enzymes like the pancreatic amylase, the trypsin, chymotrypsin, as well as the lipase. All right. Maybe right here, you can see we have our ileocecal valve. We have our cecum, and then down here is our sigmoid. As far as that goes, that's as much as I can think of as far as what they could ask on the cat, but make sure that you study your models really well. All right, and also study the digestive enzyme lab when they talk about the indicators and what dissolved what and what enzyme and the detergent and all that. So good luck with everything you got.